Namaskar. Hello and welcome to PGurus channel. I'm your host Sri Iyer. Today I have with me Sri Shekhar Iyer and we're going to talk about this unfolding drama in the Karnataka Legislative Assembly. Kaun Banega CM, who's going to be the Chief Minister. They have come to power using the Pace CM moniker, but right now they couldn't seem to be able to decide who should be on that coveted post of Chief Minister. Let's welcome Shekhar Iyer and take his input on where he thinks things are headed. Shekhar ji, namaskar and welcome to PGurus channel.
Namaskaram, Shreya ji. Today a leading television channel, which is considered quite friendly to the new dispensation in Karnataka, had to run the heading, rather the headline. Congress busybelly births gets very hot, in the sense that it has a lot of people have put in more spices, and I think the mojo is beginning to be missed in the sense. I think if it were to continue for another 1 or 2 days, people wonder whether it's busybelly bath or biryani or what. That kind of situation has come, where it is, it has got down to I did this, you did do this, you did this, I did this kind of comparison. When all that Siddaramaiah thought was to go with a list of MLAs backing him, which is numerically more than, rather supposedly and numerically more than those backing the DK Shivakumar. So the Congress, the first family is caught in a bind, and of course Kharge is playing a diplomat rather, because he is not too well disposed towards Siddaramaiah. But the push for Siddaramaiah is coming from Rahul Gandhi himself, because Rahul thinks he's more pro-poor. He got the backwards, he got the minorities, the kind of combination that has helped the Congress win this election. But Siddaramaiah is pointing out, look, I did everything. Our coalition.
I think you meant Shivakumar. I think you meant Shivakumar.
Yeah, Shivakumar is saying that Siddaramaiah is responsible for the collapse of 2018. And after I took over, I have revived the Congress party. And I traveled in the last 3 years. I did everything. And sir, what has happened is at one stage it was thought, if not the 2+3 formula, at least DK Shivakumar could be, placated with an important portfolio and a deputy CM post. But he has refused that. And he says, if you have to give me a good portfolio, give me finance. And we're knowing very well that Siddaramaiah will never part with finance, being a former finance minister. Sir, in other states, you will find some of the northern states, the number 2 slot, people ask for home ministry. That's why Amit Shah's pecking order is seen as, he's just after Modi, because he is number 2, holds the home ministry. But in Karnataka, they want the finance ministry. Finance ministry is seen much more, with its tentacles running into all the ministries, with about more than 6 lakh crore budget. They feel that that's a ministry, and Siddaramaiah will never part with finance, because last time he had revenue under Kumaraswamy. And this time he says, look, apart from the Malaidar portfolios of power and irrigation, he wants finance. That is not Siddaramaiah going to part with, which means the demands are such which cannot be accommodated. And Siddaramaiah says, I don't want a deputy CM at all. I don't want a deputy CM. I don't want power to be divided. There should not be 2 centers of power. So now what I should say, both the sides are hardening their stand. And the family, and of course, DK Shivakumar wants an audience. I can say he's demanding an audience with Sonia Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi, citing is the kind of support he has given to the family with material and resources, and to the party also. So I think it's in a big log jam, and what we are seeing is there is no easy solution. And I wonder, even by Wednesday evening, we are going to hear some solution is being worked out. I think this is really, sir, you mentioned about the PCM thing. In fact, this is PCM of the Congress, which has now started, because who is the CM, he is going to pay, to his party and to his leaders and to his legislators and ministers. So that's where we are. And Siddaramaiah, he was so confident initially. He was saying, numbers are, of course, with me. He had a list of people who had voted for him. And even yesterday, the visuals that were shown on television, Kharge, pouring over a list given by Siddaramaiah, the MLAs list. Whereas meetings between Shivakumar and Kharge were very short, only 15-20 minutes, because Shivakumar expects Kharge to do the rest to prevent Siddaramaiah. So, sir, I don't know how Rahul Gandhi's tilt towards Siddaramaiah is going to be enforced. Of course, Congress managers were all over television yesterday saying this is a sign of Indian democracy. Don't question us. What is the delay? Did it not take a long time for UP to settle on Yogi? I mean, for BJP to settle on on Yogi in UP, or say Patel in Bhupesh Patel in in Gujarat. So don't do not make a big thing out of this delay. Sir, it's not the delay. Actually, what we are seeing is public demonstration of support. Parameshwar, who is ever the prominent Dalit face after Kharge in Karnataka, he stated saying that I too have MLAs on my side. I expect justice for myself. People did justice to Congress by bringing it back to power. But now individual Congress leaders are seeking justice for themselves, citing the command they have, what they have done for the party. So this is, and more leaders are now going to come out say, I am a Lingayat leader, I'm a Vokkaligas leader, and things like that. Of course, the essential battle still remains between, and I believe more of these leaders are being propped up by one or the other side to show, look, if you are not going to settle it between us, it's going to get even more uglier.
So just to clarify what Shekharji was saying, 2-3 is 2 years of Siddaramaiah followed by 3 years of Shivakumar. And I guess if Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi are students of Shakespeare, they must be pondering over the question, to Siddu or to Shivu? That's the question. So now there was one other interesting aspect that somebody brought out in another hangout on PGurus, Shekharji, and I'm going to ask you this. Shivakumar said, allegedly, that he has 50 MLAs with him. Along with BJP 64, he could jump and cross over to BJP and become the chief minister himself, followed with support from BJP. The question that somebody asked is, look, they have not yet taken the oath of office. So therefore, they are elected MLAs. Is this even possible? Does the constitution allow it?
No, sir. Since they got elected on that, when they take oath, they will take, because
no, the oath hasn't been taken yet, right?
No, oath may not be taken, but eventually, when they are sworn in as a member, they'll be sworn in as member of the party in which they get elected. So I don't think they can escape the anti-defection law. And second thing, sir, with due respect to your guest, whoever made this, whoever thought this possible. Sir, at the moment, DKS is playing on his loyalty to the Congress. So I do not think he would have ever mentioned the BJP, in his pressure tactics. He would never have mentioned BJP. But it's not going to be easy, sir. The anti-defection law, makes it very clear. 2/3 of the party will have to not just split; they will have to merge with another party. I mean, it is actually effectively, if you see anti-defection law at one point is very stifling, because you cannot just go unlike the previously, before NDA government brought the amendment in 2003, where 1/3 could just go. Here you will have to, the 2/3 will have to. 2/3 is quite difficult out of 135. So I don't think that is easy. Sir, whoever gets it and whoever does not get it will start working to undo each other, rather more in a subterranean way rather than in an open thing. And they would wait for some time, because otherwise, they know, because the speaker will be their own speaker. So there is little, you cannot expect a Maharashtra kind of scenario. And with the Supreme Court verdict in Maharashtra, this will also act as some kind of leash on any ideas to form any government. But nothing will happen immediately, sir. Even if you see the previous occasion when Yediyurappa became CM after the collapse of JDS Congress ministry, they got each of those MLAs to resign their seat and contest afresh on a BJP ticket. So I don't think that will happen immediately. And sir, if at all anybody will split and go, it would be rather Siddaramaiah, because Siddaramaiah's affinity with the Congress is less. It's more towards what he thinks he has created a social coalition and the social base he has. See, that is a worry in the Congress mind. The fact that they cannot antagonize Siddaramaiah at this stage because he is more likely to split and go because there is no affinity. He thinks he's a self-made man, and to a great extent he is, because he broke away from Devagowda, created the AHINDA, and then after he went into the Congress, he brought Congress to power in 2013. So he feels whatever Meta DK has done in terms of organizational work for the Congress revival and growth, when it came to actually attracting votes in terms of that social coalition, he did it. So he deserves the credit. And he says, all I want is, I am getting old. I've said my last election, just give me 2 years, but give me independent hand. I don't want to share power with the DKS. Sir, in 2013 too, when he took over chief minister, as we had discussed earlier, he kept DK Shivakumar hanging outside. He didn't take him into the government. Only after a lot of persuasion, he was taken in 2013. So you can see that this is not going to be easy, and you are going to see, my worry is, people have voted for a stable government. That's why they gave this kind of mandate. With every passing day, with all those grand 5 promises, you are going to see a lot of cynicism will set in, and people will start wondering what is the change we sought, because the way they are going to jostle for portfolios, the creamy portfolios, quote unquote. Now, it will also convey the same message. Look, the battle against corruption, which people thought they got by getting rid of one government, is not going to go away with the arrival of the another. Sir, once they are in the government, Siddaramaiah is a person who will put ministers on tight leash. That's why he wants finance. And that is the thing. So what DK is saying, let him be CM for naam ke vaste. If at all you are considering me a role, but let it appear that I am handling. That's why he is angling for finance. And Siddaramaiah will neither part with CM post nor with finance minister post. He would rather be a chief minister with finance. Rather, in almost many states, it is chief minister with the home department and the general administration. But here I see that finance is a very, very important portfolio, because you can screw the happiness of all ministers. Because you hold everything. Ultimately, they have to come to you with project for sanction and everything. So we are seeing an interesting battle. Of course, we are told that it's possible that Sonia Gandhi and maybe Priyanka Gandhi may leave the cool climes of Shimla and come down to the hot Delhi, so that the Bisibeli bath remains Bisibeli bath and can be served with at a tolerable temperature.
So we'll wait and see how this saga plays out. Now, in Rajasthan, Pilot has tried to crash land the Congress, and people say that he has only like 12 out of the total 100 plus legislators. Pilot was like Shivakumar because he worked towards Congress's win, but then the High Command put Gehlot in his place. Now, Shivakumar is being treated the same way. He's the pilot of Karnataka, one can say. Likewise, if Siddaramaiah thinks that he is the Yediyurappa of Congress, these parallels are getting drawn now. So we'll wait and see what happens. But what is Pilot up to, you think, sir?
Sir, Pilot is, I feel he's on a Harakari mission, I feel, but Harakari mission pilots can cause quite damage, to the what they consider the enemy lines. So he is more into that mold, because I can't see.
Did you mean kamikaze or Harakiri, sir?
Well, it could be a combination of both. He could cause the damage and also lose himself. So looks like, because as a fledgling unit, because his main support base is rather Gujars and other communities who feel rather left out in the dominant caste politics of Rajasthan. But he himself cannot do much, and his banner of revolt has come too late in the day, because if he had used the occasion earlier, because he waited too long on Priyanka's assurance, and like many things, the family could not deliver, because Ashok Gehlot managed to show, if you want funds from Rajasthan, whether the family or the party needs it, he can do it. And that is how, despite he playing the way he revolted, he refused to give up chief ministership when he was offered Kharge's role. Despite that, the family has tolerated, because the whole genesis of this problem is, in the last elections, the last 2018 elections, what did we see was the party, because of Ashok Gehlot's fact that he is losing his charisma and his the way he was. That is why Sachin Pilot was made, and there was a whole lot of talk about generation change. And true to his, we have to give the credit to Sachin Pilot. He crisscrossed against Rajasthan, and as a Rajasthan Pradesh Congress president, he worked hard. And he went to hammer and tongs on Vasundhara Raje government and revived the organization, attracted a lot of youngsters across the caste lines. And the whole belief was that he is going to be made CM. But once the results were out, after Vasundhara was trounced, you saw, some would call the late Ahmed Patel a very wily politician. I would not like to use this term since he's no longer our mates. But definitely you saw Ahmed Patel advising the family, look, Sachin Pilot cannot deliver on all boxes, rather with boxes. So the better thing would be is to go for the whole tried horse of Ashok Gehlot, who can, his community also poses no, he's a Mali, he's no threat to any of those dominating communities of either Jats or Rajputs or Thakurs or anyone, and it will be easier. So that is how, and that shocked the hell out of Sachin Pilot. He said, what is this? The assurance was given to me by everybody when I took over as PCC chief. Then, so Priyanka said, no, let it be there. Same, 2 plus 3. Let it be there for a year. Let it be there for a year, 2 years. So that 2 year passed in 2020. He revolted. He wanted to show, look, this is what I command, but he could only show 20 MLAs. So he, with the Gehlot's police on his chase, he had to take shelter in BJP ruled Haryana. And Haryana police stopped Rajasthan police from chasing him into the, into Haryana. There was a lot of police drama, both sides police trying to, because Rajasthan police came with the, armed with some FIR saying, with some phone tapping and things like that, records. So you have seen Ashok Gehlot, the way he tried to crush Sachin Pilot. Now, what happens now? And, Sachin Pilot has opened a front where he says, he's targeting both Ashok Gehlot and Vasundhara. He says Vasundhara helped Ashok Gehlot, and with Ashok Gehlot, you cannot prevent the return of Vasundhara. And I don't think High Command has shown any inclination to stop it. And, sir, this whole Sachin's new revolt part 2, Sachin 2.0 started even before Karnataka result.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
I was surprised. Why would Sachin Pilot do that? But then Sachin Pilot also has not, worked out an alternative, whether he can, because if you're attacking Vasundhara Raje, it will not be easy to go to BJP side. Because before election, I don't see Vasundhara being sidelined so easily by the BJP. So that's a scenario where I feel Rajasthan may be a low-hanging fruit for the BJP if they play all the cards well. And of course, they have to do a lot of unity work, because you could have a DKS versus Siddaramaiah situation. Because Vasundhara is a very tough lady. She still commands quite a good traction in Rajasthan, being the only prominent women leader of Rajasthan in a society which is dominated by male politicians. So,
sir, what about Jaipur Princess Meera Kumari?
Well, still a way to go. To reach the stature of Vasundhara. Of course, she has a lot of potential, but it's going to take some time. But if you look at the leaders in mind who could be propped up as an alternative Vasundhara, you have the Gajendra Singh Chauhan, who is close to the Prime Minister, who PM thinks is doing good job in the Jal Jeevan mission, the piped water supply scheme. So one can see, this time whether it is, sir, invariably you have to balance caste equations there along with the capacity of the, the leaders who are likely to take charge. So that's going to be a difficult choice for the BJP too. But definitely Sachin Pilot has, and now that he has set a deadline, in a 2 weeks time, he wants cases against Vasundhara, which Ashok Gehlot will not have the heart to, institute. And then he wants Rajasthan Public Service Commission to be disbanded and appointment made by them cancelled, because it was all done for cash for job scam.
Speaking of cash for job scam, a certain squirrel minister in Tamil Nadu government is in a lot of trouble. what had happened was, when he was with the ADMK, this man is a very good Mausam Vaigyanik. He knows which way the wind is blowing and immediately jumps onto that side. So now he's in DMK camp. He got a job. His name is Senthil Balaji. He thinks that he is the main rival of Annamalai, and he also claims credit that he ensured Annamalai's defeat, when in fact, when Annamalai announced that he was standing in a certain constituency, which was the place from where Senthil Balaji was elected, he ran away to a different constituency. Did you know that thing, sir?
Yes, yes.
So anyway, so Mr. Senthil Balaji had taken money for jobs when he was a minister in the ADMK government. That case came up in Madras High Court, and when the appellants were told, they told the judge that, well, this man has returned back our money, therefore we don't want to press the case. So the case got, and you talk from here, sir. You take the story from here.
Sri Iyer ji, first of all, Senthil Balaji is not a squirrel of the Indian kind or the Tamil Nadu kind, not the small squirrel which Lord Ram patted. That's why the three lines.
Right.
This is the giant American squirrel, sir. The North American variety, huge ones. That could be, running around your lawn. I mean, this is a huge one. And Senthil Balaji is to DMK first family what DK Shivakumar is to the Gandhi first family. Fund manager, fundraiser, and of course he has a reputation. I mean, he has been linked from illegal sand mining to whatnot. And as you said, he jumped the ship in the hope that he would be saved from the cases. And the case in reference is to when he was a transport minister in the Jayalalitha ministry, where for the State Transport Corporation, jobs were handed out for money, and there were complaints. People paid money and didn't get jobs. Now, Madras High Court, and once the case was instituted, and the Madras High Court, they try to overrule what a single Supreme Court judge had said. He said the cases must continue. That was in September last year. In October, Madras High Court put a stop to it, did not allow ED to. And, sir, most surprising was Madras High Court took note of the fact that the complainant and the person against whom the complaint has been made are patched up.
Right.
That was not accepted by the Supreme Court. Supreme Court did not give him any relief in terms of, investigation by the Enforcement Directorate, and whatever has been already investigated should be proceeded further. So this is going to be a shock for the first family, because he seemed very close. And of course, it's good news for other DMK fund managers who have felt that Senthil Balaji has, overtaken all of them, and that's why nobody gives them bhav. So that is why they may be happy. Okay, finally his clips will, his wings will be clipped. But this is very shocking, because just now you saw a reshuffle done by Stalin. Now, if the case proceeds further, I can see a scenario where Senthil Balaji may face arrest by Enforcement Directorate before the next Lok Sabha elections. What happens then? Because on this today, Senthil Balaji handles a lot of portfolios, including I believe he has his hand in every trade.
Electricity, liquor, and public works department.
And all these, spin-off, huge payoffs. And those spin-offs, a good portion, I'm told, goes to the top, the families in control, and some to the party. And of course, Senthil Balaji himself, ensures he has enough funds at his disposal to ensure his future, no matter which dispensation comes to power.
Sir, some say that Mr. Senthil Balaji's entry into politics was facilitated by the fact that he happened to be the driver of a lady who used to accompany Sasikala during some of her political trips. That she was the Chinnamma, remember? She was the Chinnamma. Chinnamma's driver. That's what people say, sir.
Sir, you had, if you a Congress parallel is C.K. Jafar Sharif. I know.
Yes.
With Karnataka, politics in the air. C.K. Jafar Sharif was a driver for Yediyurappa. So as he drove around Bangalore or Delhi, Jafar Sharif used to hear everything Yediyurappa was discussing about Indira Gandhi with other old Congress stalwarts. And when he switched side, he brought a lot of intelligence to Indira Gandhi against Yediyurappa, Morarji Desai and others. And that's why Jafar Sharif rose in her esteem. And then finally Jafar Sharif became railway minister.
Right.
And I am told by some of the old railway board members, sir, the day he took office, I mean, with due respects to that Jafar Sharif Saab, because he is no more amidst us, with all people who are dead and gone, but there are certain memories I have to share with our viewers. I was told the day he took over the ministry, he did not bother about what projects are on, because they tried to do a briefing for him. This is the traction to be completed, these are rural railway lines to be completed, these are the projects for renovation of railway stations, for improving. He was not interested. He said, just give me a list with what is the project cost of all the the allocations for various projects. Once that list was provided, he drew with his scale on another column and calculated the 10% of all that, 10 to 20% of all that. I said, this is the thing I want. So this is I mean, because Jafar Sharif was straight and brutal in his language when it came to getting things done. So this political corruption that we are talking today, it's nice for Congress to have succeeded with the pay CM. Well, we have seen what has happened in previous eras, and can you imagine a minister asking his at the railway board level? At those days, railway board was very powerful, unlike today, because one of the first things that the Modi government did after they came 2014 was to somehow, curb the powers of the railway board, which used to act as an authority by itself. That was a time when you had a separate railway budget. But today things are different. I mean, now the railway board is more in tune with what the government or the prime minister wants or the railway minister wants.
Well, yeah, I mean, also the objectives converge, which is a good thing, sir. I'm all for it. The railways didn't need to have its own budget. Why? So we have a few more minutes that we can take some questions from our viewers. So let's have some questions, please. Teja Mysore wants to know, what is Pilot's end game here? Can't lead Congress. Gehlot has more MLAs. No place in BJP. Already a full house. Can't launch a new party. Too close to election.
Well, sir, some people who say they are close to Sachin Pilot say he is probably looking at a scenario whether a hung assembly possibility can come about in Rajasthan. With the Congress, a divided Congress and not so grand BJP, heading towards the election. And in that case, even if he manages to have, say, 20 MLAs that he commands today, probably he can play a kingmaker's role. I mean, this is at the moment looks little far-fetched.
So he becomes the Kumar Swamy of Rajasthan.
I mean, possible, though I don't think he has. I mean, to be fair to Sachin Pilot.
Same movie, same character, sir. Only language is different.
Sir, but Kumar Swamy is more skillful, sir. More skillful. He knows how to play the king and the kingmaker, and how the kingmaker can become king. Kumar Swamy is good at it. Unfortunately, his supporters and his voters did not think. They thought the king should be retired. Now that even UK has a new king.
Did his son win in Karnataka?
No, sir, his son lost. And from Ramanagara constituency, which is a minority-dominated constituency. I mean, that was a big surprise and shock to the family. I mean, Ramanagara, they have done a lot for Ramanagara. Ramanagara has a lot of, medical institutions, hospitals, a constituency that has been nurtured by the Gowda family for a long time. But still, they didn't do well. So the question as to what is in Pilot's mind, I mean, I can see is probably he's looking at that kind of scenario. I mean, in that case, probably in a new scenario, then he can decide, he can say, look, I will not support Vasundhara as CM or something like that. But this is too far-fetched because till elections, I can't see how Ashok Gehlot and Sachin Pilot can sit together. And Gandhi family has decided now they can't do anything about Sachin Pilot. But people say he may, try to create he may go with Aam Aadmi and all. But Aam Aadmi party and all are new entities in Rajasthan, sir. I mean, I don't think they can do anything because already you have seen Aam Aadmi party's forays, barring Punjab, has not yielded result anywhere else.
Yes, indeed. Next question from Rahul Rathod. What are the chances of particular community getting DCM and other important ministry in Karnataka government? Your observations on upcoming Rajasthan and MP elections also.
Well, Rahulji, if DCM post has to be given, the Congress High Command may favor only DK is getting it. If at all Siddaramaiah is somehow made to agree. And or Siddaramaiah is also getting people, the demands we are seeing, Muslim Waqf board saying in Karnataka there should be one deputy CM and 5 ministers when there are only 9 Muslim MLAs. So if DK, I mean Siddaramaiah wants the DKS is put in his place, so he may insist on why not 3 more deputy CMs. So that's going to be difficult because right now it is stuck at this. Shivakumar may accept deputy CM if he is given finance, and here Siddaramaiah is saying no question of any deputy CM, and because there should be no 2 power centers, and no, I can't work with DKs because from day one, he is going to create problems for me. He'll put spokes. Now about Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh elections, sir. Rajasthan, because of the situation and the kind of track record of Ashok Gehlot's governance, it does seem like a low-hanging fruit for BJP. But organizationally, BJP has internal challenge. That challenge is somehow to get their top leaders to work with Vasundhara. And Vasundhara is a leader. She feels that she's first among the all others. I mean, one can't even say equals. And that anything has to be, they will have to deal with her, and it has to be under her leadership. Now, that's also, and several times, Prime Minister Modi and other leaders have tried to persuade Vasundhara to come to Delhi. I know for a fact, sir, in 2014, when Modi was elected Prime Minister, he wanted Vasundhara to join Central Cabinet. She was offered the Defense Ministry post. He wanted to show that, a woman as a Defense Minister. Of course, that honor later went to Nirmala Sitharaman subsequently. Right. But Vasundhara was offered that so she could come out, but she didn't want to come out. Of course, now a situation is, how can she shift to the center? Already her nephew, Jyotiraditya Scindia, is in the government. Though I believe a lot of water has flowed down. The aunt said the nephew have, more or less made up, and things are rather not so bad. Of course, there is a litigation involving these families over the Scindia properties all over the country. That's another thing. But this is the scenario. So the BJP needs more than its whatever ability it can muster to handle Vasundhara very carefully. If they should not, do a repeat of what they did to Yediyurappa and end up losing a good a good scenario. I mean, good case in Rajasthan. So that's a challenge for Madhya Pradesh, sir. Rahulji, I think it's a very serious problem because Shivraj has been around for 2 decades. And huge anti-incumbency in terms of his leadership as well as, but then he belongs to OBC community, and BJP has not been able to, prop up another OBC leader to match Shivraj thus far. So till election, they may not disturb Shivraj because after lessons from Karnataka, but it's going to be difficult. And Kamal Nath, he's still nursing the wounds of, Jyotiraditya's revolt and how he lost power in Madhya Pradesh. So this time, Kamal Nath will, of course, here he is also a very resourceful man, like DK Shivakumar. So that's why even Madhya Pradesh is quite a dicey for the BJP. And similarly, Chhattisgarh, sir, again the problem is so much of welfareism by your Chief Minister Baghel, and the BJP again, they have lost down Nanda Kishore Sahai, a very tall BJP leader in Chhattisgarh. He has quit BJP. Similarly, in Madhya Pradesh, Kailash Joshi, one of the tall stalwarts from the Jansangh days of Madhya Pradesh, his son has joined Congress. So, I mean, there is so much of churning, sir. Invariably, sir, you will notice in Indian politics, in the run-up to the Lok Sabha elections, lot of people will leave parties.
Alignments, realignments.
In the hope of a greener pasture. And I see that happening the next 7-8 months.
Next question, please. Shubha Nadigar wants to know, Kharge's son Priyank wants DCM post.
Sir, this talk has gained a lot of traction since last evening because of, with Parameshwar jumping in and saying, Dalit, the Dalit should also get the place. Why not a Dalit CM and things like that? And but with Kharge himself playing the umpire, I don't know how he will ensure, but it is possible if DK if DK gets to play a bigger role. Otherwise, I think it's doubtful because Siddaramaiah considers Kharge to be head of the old Congress faction, in the Congress. I mean, the old loyalist group. So Siddaramaiah, that's why he says no deputy CM, whether it is Shivakumar or Kharge's son Priyank. So that's what we are getting to hear at the moment.
Srinivas Jayaprakash wants to know, is BJP going the INC way? Is there too much interference of central leadership into the affairs of the state units? What is the way out of this high command culture?
Well, the answer to this question, Srinivas ji, is, unfortunately, a strong central leadership in BJP has paid so far. The Prime Minister's persona, because I have covered the party for a long time, I have seen the BJP before 2013-14 and the BJP after that. That's why they could win elections. But there are the other the negative side to it is too much of centralization. So much so state leaders abdicate their role because they feel, well, the final call is going to be taken by Modi ji or Amit Shah ji or Nadda ji. So why should I get into it? So somewhere a balance is required. And what we are seeing is, sir, what the BJP should prevent is, like in what has happened in Congress. High command still, has that, still sits in an exalted situation, though it has become weaker. As they say in Hindi, high command kamzor hui hai, lekin hasiyat hai. I mean, there still is high command, they say. So that should not happen. If election after election, BJP is not, it doesn't get success, same thing will happen. The BJP high command will still have a, but then decision making is different. So I don't see immediately BJP falling into a Congress trap. Yes, Karnataka may be a setback, but to write off BJP would be a total mistake, because BJP is definitely bound to bounce back. I mean, it's not so easy to yell. I mean, I would expect Prime Minister Modi ji and others to take draw greater lessons than the Congress leadership has ever done from the drubbings they got in the states. Because Karnataka, it's, people always say it's because of what the BJP acts of commission and omission. Rather, they let Congress win. They could have put their house in order, given a good governance. I mean, that they did not do. I mean, apart from other factors that were probably working in favor of Congress.
Next question, please. Anish Nagaraj wants to know, sir, on one side we say Yediyurappa should have been projected as a CM, and on the other side BJP kept him out as he was corrupt. So did BJP have any option but to lose? Aren't people hypocritical?
No, Anish ji, what is being now, of course, these are all in hindsight. I mean, what they are saying is, okay, you could have kept Yediyurappa till the elections, did not have projected him as CM. But that people, those who are diehard followers of Yediyurappa, would assume since he is still there, he will continue as CM. So that alienation among certain sections of Lingayats could have been prevented. So that is why, of course, the tag of corruption has a lot to do with the period Yediyurappa has been in office. I mean, there is no denial about it. So BJP was caught in a Hobson's choice. I mean, they could not have done much. But the way an impression went out, they were trying to get Yediyurappa sidelined. That did not go down well with the message, given the age of Yediyurappa. And the fact is, long contribution. Sometimes you need to do it very carefully. As they say in Tamil, mulla careful adukkanum. Because when the thorn is there, you have to remove it very carefully. So that somewhere failed, and people are, of course, there is a big blame game going on in the BJP. A lot of this blame is being given to BL Santoshji, who is the General Secretary of organization. But well, when there are losers, there is bound to be a blame game. But I don't think Santosh acted on his own, because whatever was done with the highest as desired by. But then there are certain. I get to hear a lot of decisions that were taken where candidates were picked up. So definitely the blame is being laid on the central leadership, and by when they say central leadership, of course they are pointing at Santosh.
Next question, please. Chaitanya Takle wants to know, so Supreme Court order on Delhi government mentions National Capital Territory. This area is smaller than the state of Delhi, right? So Delhi government will have control on the small area, right?
Sir, this judgment, actually the last judgment of the Supreme Court was by a division bench. It was a split verdict. One judge said, look, Delhi is not a full-fledged state. Therefore, the lieutenant governor, since the constitutional scheme of things, the lieutenant governor has a greater say in matters like police, land, and things, etc. Other things. So, therefore, but the other judge dissented. He says if you have an elected government, whether it's a full-fledged state or not, the elected representatives who are running the executive, they should also have a say. Otherwise, you have a situation where whoever is elected to power cannot do anything. Now, that was the judgment which the Constitution bench was. So, because it was central government which approached Supreme Court to constitute a Constitution bench under the Chief Justice of India. So, that some clarity was needed, and the clarity has come is, look, Lieutenant Governor has, like other governors, you have to abide by the advice given by the Council of Ministers, whether it's a union territory or it's a full-fledged state. Now, second thing is, bearing the areas of police and land, other things they should not, the Lieutenant Governor should follow. Now, what we are seeing is after this judgment, the first thing the Aam Aadmi Party government is doing, they are going after bureaucrats who they think expose them on the excise scam, who expose them on Sheesh Mahal. So they are running after that services secretary. They have gone after another bureaucrat who they believe who has exposed the excise scam. Now, this judgment, though they claim that this would improve governance in Delhi, at the moment they are settling scores with poor bureaucrats. Sir, this will lead to a situation where bureaucrats will not like to serve in Delhi under the Aam Aadmi Party government. Because some checks and, sir, an IAS officer is protected. An IAS officer is protected under the service rules because he is directly appointed by the president. A state can, send him out of the state, or they can suspend him, but that requires concurrence of the center, the home ministry, by the president. But we are seeing a situation where they are directly gunning for bureaucrats. And if you recall, sir, that particular episode, infamous episode, where Chief Secretary was assaulted inside the Kejriwal's residence, when so many MLAs were present. So one can see
Sorry about that. These people are behaving like street thugs, sir, unfortunately. Next question, please. Is Arvind wants to know, is this headed for Kharge to be made CM and RG being brought back as national president? Is that an outside chance?
Sir, I would not rule it out. If this stalemate were to continue, then they will have to look for another solution. And a solution that would please immensely DK Shivakumar, but not Siddaramaiah. Of course, the clamor for Rahul Gandhi to become Congress president again has started. They are saying, look, he is responsible for this. It is Bharat Jodo Yatra did all this. Thereby not willing to give credit to Siddaramaiah or DK Shivakumar. They are saying it's all, at best, the credit should go to Kharge also because he belongs to Karnataka. This is what the close circles, those who think that they are all Rahul Gandhi loyalists say. Sir, but ultimately, I think he would, Rahul Gandhi, if he wants to become president again, he would rather wait for the elections to other states, Telangana, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh. If you remember, in 2018, he took over after Congress won those elections.
Right.
But he gave up when, the Congress did extremely bad in the Lok Sabha elections.
All right. Let's make this the last question. Destiny's Child wants to know, how overhyped is BJP's so-called election machinery and poll strategies despite having money and media power, whereas unknown face Sasikant Sendil quietly gave a thrashing to BJP in Karnataka?
Well, the Destiny Child knows what was the situation in Karnataka and how it Congress was able to get several things right with the strategy. But in terms of election machine, definitely BJP is more organized. But then, sir, you cannot be hitting sixes at for every ball that comes to you. There are times you have to play a little defensive. There are times you have to go for quick singles rather than you keep on chasing. Chasing flies at the wicket. You get clean bowled. That is what has happened in Karnataka. Yes, they had a machinery. They have resources. They could also ensure a good coverage and all that. But Congress campaign was more sensible, more tuned to the ground. They projected the state leaders. I mean, they use the social media to to good effect, because I believe the memes that played on social media in Kannada language did more than Amit Shah's or Nadda's long speeches in Hindi. So you can see that they got it right. I mean, otherwise they would have won elections. They could do the mobilization in caste terms. They could do polarization in religious terms to their favor. Lot of things they got right. But then again, BJP's machinery, you cannot say that it is completely gone. All that they might had to be better tuned. It had to be better focused. The mistake is at the leader level. I mean, the leadership leaders themselves, not in the machinery they have or the kind of cadre they command. But definitely, sir, I believe, when you are fighting election, the election is not fought on what you do in the last 2-3 months. If you are in power, sir, it is very important, no matter which party, the only way you can cut down on incumbency is by performance. And you have to be genuine about it. You have to be sincere about it. You can be sincere and fail, but in deliveries. But at least people must get the feeling, here is a chief minister, here is a government that's trying to do something. Because that is the kind of impression people still have about Prime Minister Modi. They still feel, he's genuine. He wants to do it. And he's facing a system which is creating problems at all levels. And he is facing very powerful forces who are not happy with the way India is changing. I mean, this a large section of people feel. That is why even today, after the setback in Karnataka, people still say, no, look, Karnataka, one swallow does not make a summer. I mean, they still feel BJP could fight the Lok Sabha elections even more resolutely and come back to power.
All right, and let's call it a wrap now. Thank you so much, Shekhar ji, and we'll be back again on Saturday, this time again at 9:30 IST, and we will take up our politics from that point forward. Thank you once again, Shekhar ji. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel viewers, and also don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.